Thanks for viewing Start to Finish TDLR State Board Practical Exam Procedure. This video is a means to prepare those in transition from another state or elapsed time between school and state board. Start to Finish assists with written exams, tutoring, practical exam mocks, CE hours, and we are a bridge between your school and state board. Please note, we are not to replace what you have been taught by your instructors at your beauty school. We are here to enhance your skills to pass your state board practical exam. Some items that you should have at hand prior to taking the exam. That is your PSI, Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations pamphlet. You should have your forms completed. This is the Texas Operator Examination Registration Form. And if you're out of state or you need examination accommodations, you would need to have this form completed. You will also need to have your state driver's license or ID, and social security card is required. We're going to begin this examination. You want to first make sure you place your bag on the floor, close to you. So the rules of this content is that the entire examination will be 3 hours and 45 minutes in length. The total number of points is 130. The passing score for the entire practical examination is 70%. This is 91 points out of 31. Be sure that all procedural criteria must be performed in the order listed for candidates to receive points for the test taken. Do not begin any procedures until the instructor for each section and the examination is read to you prior to beginning. It is not necessary to perform additional or alter any steps tasks that's not listed in this procedure. Items not listed are not rated during the examination, so keep that in mind. Candidates must step back and raise their hand at the end of each section that they have completed. We will start this procedure with our state board, PSI, and TDLR procedures for pre-examination setup. I'd like to congratulate you on passing your written test, and we will now begin to start to finish of our state board practical examination. So the first bag that we're going to proceed with is your pre-examination setup. In this bag, we have EPA bottle, water bottle, sanitizer, first aid kit, trash bag, tape, paper towels, mannequin stand, and mannequin along with the cape. Now we will start our procedure for setting up. Your setup is 10 minutes. So the first thing you want to do is take out your EPA, your water bottle, and set everything up on the table. You want to sanitize your table. So you want to make sure that the first thing that you do is to have all of your items set up. So you're going to sanitize the table with your paper towels. And then you're going to list all of your supplies in the order that you're going to be using them. Then you're going to tape your bag in front of the table. Remember, you have 10 minutes for this procedure. So take your time and make sure you put everything and tape your bag nice and secure. You want to make sure you have, that's a big bag, so you want to make sure you tape it across, because ultimately you'll be putting towels and everything in that bag from start to finish. So once you have everything completed, you want to sanitize your hands and step back. Raise your hand. Remember, when you sanitize your hands and step back, to always raise your hand and prepare for the proctor to tell you when to proceed. Your next procedure will be your monomer and polymer tip overlay. So in this procedure, you will set up your chair to the table so that you can start the application of your products for your nail application. So in this bag, you have everything you need to complete one finger, and you're gonna get your pre-sanitized, pre-prepped bag that says monomer and tip over tip surface. You will need to have 3 towels, a mannequin finger that is pre-prepped with the tip, a nail tip to secure to the nail that's been pre-prepped, an orange wood stick, a small trash bag attached to the table with tape, paper towels, nail clipper to trim the nail, tweezers, nail adhesive, nail hydrator, odorless primer, and odorless monomer is going to be a key to you passing this monomer polymer tip overlay. You also will have a cuticle pusher, which could be a metal or orange wood stick, a dab and dish application brush, abrasive nail file and buffer, small brush, cuticle, cotton rounds, cuticle oil, and small brush to dust the debris. You may start your setup. In this procedure, you have 32 minutes to complete. The first thing you want to do is sanitize your table. You're going to grab your bag, place your small trash bag, and tape it to the side. Once you tape your small trash bag to the side of the table, you're going to grab your hand sanitizer and set everything up on the table. So at this point, you want to have a seat, and you're going to set your table up as if you were going to prepare to do a tip. You have your 3 towels, which one towel goes into your lap. And then you fold the towels as if you were doing a manicure. Make sure you push the towel so that you'll have working space with the towel. Go ahead and set up all your implements, your product. And you want to put your items, your products and your implements in the order in which you'll be using them. All the trash, all the bags that you have, you can just lay them to the side, or because you will need them later to put everything back in your bags. So you want to take your bags and keep in mind you're putting your products in the order in which you're going to be using them. So everything is placed in the order in which you'll be using them. You're going to start with sanitizing your hands. You're going to grab your finger, sanitize your finger. You're going to go into your container and get your cuticle pusher. Use your cotton and tip the orange wood stick. You're going to use the cuticle pusher and you're going to gently push back the cuticles. Place the cotton tip, the orange wood stick, into your trash bag. Sanitize your hands. Select the nail tip that fits the natural nail. Now you will rough up the nail tip using your zipper file. Next you would use, and you can just lay your file close to you. And now you're going to use your cuticle manicuring brush and brush the debris from the nail. Place your brush on the side. Next, you will take your dehydrator. Apply the dehydrator to the nail. You will sanitize your hands. Grab your nail tip and place it on the nail plate. If it fits properly, you can go ahead and adhere it to the free edge of your finger. And you may have to use enough because this is not like a human hand that's going to have the ability to absorb. So it's always good to make sure you have enough adhesive. And when you put the nail tip on, you want to rock it on the free edge of this tip. You may have to hold it a few seconds because, like I said before, this is plastic on plastic and may take a second for it to adhere. You do have 32 minutes for this procedure, so you do not have to rush. You're only doing one finger. Once the finger is secured, you want to take your, grab your nipper, and you want to gently make sure the nail is good and secure before you go and start shortening it. So you're going to shorten that nail tip using your nail clipper. You want to remember to always put your tool back into the kit before you sanitize your hand. Since you're done with that, you won't be using that again. You can just leave it in the kit. So you sanitize your hands afterwards. Now you want to grab the block buff to file and blend in the tip. Okay, you set your block aside. Then you want to sanitize your hands and apply your primer. And this is your odorless or low odor primer. Sanitize your hands. Now you want to fill your polymer and your monomer in the little dabbing dishes. So you want to, in this case, you want to make sure that you can use your polymer out of the container. Just fill your monomer in the little dabbing dish. And here again, this should be odorless. Okay, you want to get your nail brush, and you're going to start to apply your first ball on the free edge of your nail. Make sure your brush is good and saturated before starting so it grabs. Wipe any excess off on the napkin. This is your first ball on your free edge. Then you proceed on with your second ball and complete your nail with your second and your third. And remember that this is an odorless product, and odorless product tends to be a little wetter and a little runnier, so it takes a little longer to dry. So it's not going to dry and mold as quick as a non-odorless product. So you want to keep your brush not as wet as you would with the regular monomer. And keep in mind, as you're working with this, you want to keep it molded and free of any lumps and grooves, as smooth as possible, so when you start to file, it will be a nice and smooth nail is what your proctors and your examiners are going to be looking for. Make sure you stay away from the cuticle area, that no product seeps down and creates a crater at the bottom of your nail application. You want to let that dry. As that's drying, you could start to put away your powder. It's okay to put the towel down in the dabbing dish and twirl it around so it gets all the excess out. And you want to use the bags that you put in your powder and monomer in the bag. And for the record, the bags that you empty out all of your implements, you want to make sure that you keep those bags folded on the table. It's important that you don't have to reach down into your duffel bag to remove any of the bags that you've emptied. So it's okay to place those bags on the table. Just fold them and have them laid out on the side. So when you start to put away your products that you finish with, you won't have to reach down on the floor. So you can go ahead and put away your nail adhesive, your nail hydrator, leave your brush out, discard your paper towel, grab your finger, check to see if it's dry. You can tap on it. It's going to be tacky because it's not like your regular products. So go ahead and put all of those items away in the bag except your in your big bag. Except your files. So while your nail is drying or curing, this is the time to use this time to put away the items that you're not going to need, that you know for sure you're not going to need, and put them back into your bag. And keep in mind, as I stated before, that your bag that you're putting everything back in, ultimately it should be kept on top of the table and not on below, because then that becomes a contaminated problem and you don't want that problem. So keep that in mind. Tap again to make sure that it's cured, and so you may have to tap with your file and see if you hear if it's hard. Go ahead and put your brush up, your nail brush. So you just got your buffer. Anytime you touch your container, you have to sanitize your hands. Go ahead and start to file because it's going to be tacky. So it's going to be more of a rub off. It's not going to be like a shaving that you would have typically with your normal monomers, because the odorless is going to have a tacky feel. So it's going to be more of rubbing off. So you're going to see a different debris than you would normally. The key is to make sure that the nail is nice and smooth when the proctor comes by to examine it. Okay, so once you complete it, you want to put away all of your implements. Sanitize your hand. Paper towels, you need to have a paper towel out because you're going to clean up with your paper towel. Go ahead and clean up. Set your finger aside. Could you hold your finger up toward the camera so we can see what? Now that you have completed your monomer and tip overlay, you may raise your hands and indicate that you have finished. We will proceed with our next procedure. Our next procedure is going to be our blood spill. And it's related to as your blood exposure incident. In this bag you have paper towels, gloves, band-aids, gauze, antiseptic wipes, biohazard bag, and an empty Ziploc bag that indicates trash. At the end you will place that into the biohazard bag. You may start this procedure. You have 12 minutes to complete. Now you have your gloves on and you will start to do your blood exposure service. Open your gauze. Put pressure on the wound. Take your alcohol pad and you're going to clean the wound. Place it over the wound. Now everything that's on the paper towel will be folded up in the paper towel and placed into your hazard bag. And then it's going to be placed into the trash bag. Sanitize your hands. Grab your paper towel and your EPA and sanitize the table. Sanitize your hands. Step back and raise your hands. You have completed this section. The next section that we're going to be doing is eyelash application. In the eyelash bag, we have our paper towels, tweezers, lashes, glue, scissors, hair clip to secure the tile, paper towels, and you want to make sure that you have a pre-attached eyelash for this application process. You may start this process. It is 14 minutes to complete. First thing you want to do is drape your mannequin. We're continuing with the eyelash application. We've pre-sized it. Keep in mind that when you apply your lashes, you want to apply them from the outer corner to the inner corner. Once the lashes is on, continue with your cleanup. Remove your gloves. Lay them on the paper towel. Sanitize your hands. Paper towel and your EPA, and clean your table. Step back and raise your hand that you are completed. Your next process is going to be your facial service. Remove everything from your bag. Once you get your drape, you're going to take your headband and place it around the mannequins. Make sure you got all the hair. Using 2 cotton rounds, saturated with your eye and lip makeup. And just do what you was taught, how you were taught to remove the makeup. Make sure you cover the face, side temple area, around the forehead, between the lip, cover the bridge of the nose, up to the forehead. Same way you applied the cleanser. And you want to spread it throughout the face. And at this point, you might want to be on the back side of the client or your mannequin. As you apply your massage cream, Once you've removed it all, you discard those rounds. Sanitize your hand. You're going to apply your astringent or your toner by applying it, spraying it on 2 cotton rounds. Your moisturizers and your creams and simulated product as sparingly as possible, because these are mannequins and they're not going to absorb the product like a human would. Clean up, put away everything. When you're going into your cotton rounds, you want to be mindful that you want to close your containers each time you open it to keep from contamination. EPA. Discard that. Step back and raise your hands. The next step that you'll be doing is the soft wax application service. In the soft wax application, there is paper towels, gloves, spatula, hair clip, mock wax, wax remover, fabric, cotton rounds, and antiseptic. Sanitize your hands. Put on your gloves. Use a cotton round and your antiseptic or your astringent and clean brow area that you're about to service. You're only going to do one. Discard that. Grab another cotton round, pat it dry. Discard that. Now you're going to take your spatula and your simulated wax and proceed to do your brow wax. Trash. Everything goes into your plastic bag. And everything on the paper towel goes into the trash. Sanitize the table. Sanitize your hands. Step back and raise your hand. Now we're going to do the haircut procedure. Sanitize your hands. Do your scalp analysis, checking for any abrasions. With your comb, you're going to comb through and part through and make sure that there are no scalp abrasions. Once you've checked for abrasions, you see none, you're going to wet the hair and start to section. You can do 5 sections or you could do 4 sections. It just depends on what you were taught at your school and what your comfort level is. There are no specific rules about how many sections. The ultimate goal is to have a precise haircut. Your first cut that you're going to do is a 0 in the back of the head. Using your razor, you're going to cut 1 inch of hair off with your razor. The whole haircut has to be completed with 1 inch off throughout the entire head by performing layers, and you have 45 minutes to complete a complete haircut. Complete haircut will be done with shears, never laying your combs down, holding your shears palm up, and complete the entire haircut doing a 45-degree angle. Sanitize your space, your table, and then you're going to proceed with sanitizing your hand, and you're going to start with your permanent wave. Section, and you're going to use the back crown You have 22 minutes to do this section, so you don't want to waste too much time with your section, and clip that hair to the side and proceed to your next section. Now you want to take your protective cream and base around the hairline and the nape of the neck. And this is a step that you don't necessarily have to do with your permanent wave, but it always helps because perm solutions are can be caustic and harmful if on the skin. So it's just a extra protection. So this is a step that you can either do or not do in this procedure, and we're choosing to do it for safety precaution. Now we're going to start with our application. You want to take your cotton and wrap it around that section. Take your perm solution and saturate each rod. Make sure your rods are nice and neat. Put everything in the trash as you go through it. Remove your gloves. Clean your station. Sanitize your hands. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is our blow dry and thermal curl. So once you have everything plugged in, you got everything out, make sure your irons are on. Now you want to drape your mannequin with one towel and a cape. You're going to blow dry that section. Now you're going to do your curl. Make sure that your section is not wider than the curling irons that you're using, because too much hair in the irons or too little hair in the irons is not going to give you the points you need to complete a good scoring for this section. You want to test your irons with the Sinex strip, or you can use end papers. Put away your curling irons, your blow dryer, put everything else back in the bag. Sanitize your station. Sanitize your hands, step back, and this concludes this part of the examination. Now you're going to do your chemical processing, which is your last section that you'll be doing today. This is your chemical service bag. In this bag, you'll be doing a highlight foil, a hydroxide virgin, and a hydroxide retouch. You want to make sure that you do a towel over the cape. Divide the hair into 4 sections. This is a 10-minute process for your preparation. Once everything is set up, you go ahead and apply your base cream. This will be the same pair of gloves for each section, because this is your last section and you don't need to change your gloves. You want to step back and raise your hand. This is your 10-minute preparation for your chemical service part of this exam. Okay, now you're going to do your virgin relaxer, and this should take 10 minutes. You're going to start sectioning. You're going to start applying your relaxer. Now that you've completed this section of your virgin relaxer, you may clean up, and you're going to end with your relaxer retouch bag. This is your final step before your end of examination cleanup. You have 10 minutes to do this service. You're going to apply it similar to your virgin relaxer, using subsections starting at the bottom, using 2 inch of new growth. So this is a retouch. This procedure, you're going to apply the relaxer starting at the bottom, and you're going to apply it a 1/2 inch subsections, and you are applying it only to the new growth, 2 inches from the new growth. A retouch means that you're only going to retouch the new hair that's grown out. So your time is up. You will step back, raise your hand, and now you have completed this part of your State Board practical exam. Your last part is your end of examination kit. So everything is going to be disposed of and put into your end of examination kit. Sanitize your hands, step back, raise your hand. You have completed the State Board practical examination.